afternoon. Has everyone grabbed a lunch yet? I don't mind. Just eat away while I'm talking. What I typically find is that most of you will have questions that I probably won't cover here, and I want to make sure that we leave time for that because I don't want this all to be about me telling you stuff that you didn't necessarily come here to hear. But what I've learned, and I do pay attention in previous times I've done this, I learned what you guys are most interested in. So I'm trying to cater my presentations to that, not necessarily what I want to talk about, but what you want to hear about. So that's what we're going to do today. If everyone doesn't know me and you came here and you're expecting somebody more engaging, I'm sorry. But my name is Gilbert. I'm the township administrator here. And every year I do this, and I've been doing it now for the last 3 or 4 years, I think. We used to do these township-wide where we invite the entire public in and we would do a big sort of state of the township address. And those sort of waned because honestly, there wasn't enough information for me to fill a 2-hour presentation for everyone to be completely engaged every year. The wheels of government turn slowly, so not a lot of things happen and a lot of things bleed over from year to year. And so I felt like I was being redundant. So we just stopped doing those and we started to just do sort of micro meetings like this with groups. And so yours have been the most consistent. I do this with other groups as well, neighborhood groups, civic associations, things like that. But this one's always one of my favorites because you guys are generally the most interested in what's happening here. Everyone else kind of wants to know what's happening on their street. You guys want to know kind of what's happening township-wide, which I appreciate. So let me just jump right in. So today what we're going to talk about is mainly developments. Everyone in here in the last few years, all they want to hear about is what's being built there, what's happening here. I heard about this, what's going on there. So we'll talk about that. You don't want to know about stats and numbers and things that I can tell you all day long about how many roads we did, what's the percentage of budget going to this. I can tell you that, but you don't want to hear it because it doesn't matter. You want to see what are actually things happening that your husband or wife ask you about, or your kids ask you about, or the neighbors are talking about, or your customers that come to the business. Hey, do you know what's going on over there? That's what people want to know. That's what I'm going to focus on. At the end, what I want to talk about, though, is initiative that I've sort of alluded to in the past. And some of the things we do here. Last year I talked about, if you were here, you probably don't remember, and I can appreciate that. But I talked a lot about what are we? What do we stand for as an organization, right? This is going to dive in a little bit deeper in how we're going to reinforce that here internally with an initiative that we just launched called Municipal Hospitality. So a lot of you have customers, right? And you focus on customer experience, the people come into your businesses. We do the same thing here, but we call it something a little different. We're taking it a step further. We're actually doing what we call hospitality rather than just customer service. And I'll talk about what that means here in just a second. So, what you guys want to know? What's being built where and when and how and all those kind of things. So, what do we have going on? This year the theme is residential. If you remember in the past, we talked a lot about the businesses that have come in. And you've seen a lot of change, especially on the Whit Road corridor in terms of the retail that's come in. We had probably in the last 5 or 6 years close to $150 million in private investment, especially in this part of the township from a business perspective. And that's not really slowing down. And frankly, the only reason it's stalled a little bit now, I don't have anywhere to put people. I have more people call us that want to be here than I have land to give them to build on. So that's a good problem to have, right? And that just tells you that you're in an area that is desirable. So we've now focused and turned our attention to the residential side. That we need to, what we refer to as maintain that healthy rotation of housing stock, right? That we want to ensure that the people that live here want to stay here near their grandkids or their kids or their job, that they have a place that they can downsize into that still maintains the level of amenity and things that they want, but then allows them to move out of that 4-bedroom, 3-bath house that they're empty nesting in and free that up for a young family to move in, right? Lori wants that for the school district, and we all do. So we need to create those products, allow people to move in so that we can create that rotation of housing stock and get new people into this community. So how are we going to do that? We're going to create some residential developments that frankly have been spurred by a lot of the commercial development that's happened on Wade Road, right? With a lot of the retail has happened, you know, the brewery and different things that we've done here, that has attracted interest from outside developers that want to be in this community. And so what we're going to see now, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through, we have about $140 million in residential development that's going to start this year. And it's going to be some of the if you remembered, as long as you guys have been here that long, you know that there's not been a lot of new residential in this community for a long time, because this community was the Westchester of this region back in the 50s and 60s. We've been built out for decades. Now we have attracted billion-dollar multinational home building corporations that want to invest in this community. They want to be within the 275 loop, and this is the area in which they want to do it, because of a lot of stuff that we've set the foundation for that you all helped us with by starting businesses and being here and investing and believing in this community. They have seen that, and now they want to be here too and experience what you guys have experienced as well. So, he told me why this name is the way it is. God's honest truth, I have no idea. I remember, Kathleen, do you know?
It's a park in Colorado.
There you go. It's a park in Colorado. So Pingree Park, this is a development. We'll show you where it is, but he chose that because the area in which he's building it, which is up near Winton Woods Park, it gave him sort of he reminisced about a time he was in Pingree Park in Colorado. So we're going to dive into that here in just a second. We'll talk about what that neighborhood looks like. I had to throw in one retail, and it's the worst kept secret in the world. Everyone knows Dutch Bros is coming. It's the first location in Ohio. There are people people are telling my daughter, because I think this is a big thing with kind of the 20-something-year-olds, the young kids. My daughter has told me that people will drive from 2 hours to go to this location. She's insane, but I don't think she's wrong. I think they will. It has a cult following if you've researched about it. I have no idea why. Caitlin, you were just out west and went to one of these, right?
Pretty good.
2 hours good?
I don't know about 2 hours good, but it's pretty good.
So my point is, this is the first one in Ohio. So anyone who is excited about it, they will come. There's nowhere else for them to go, buddy. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Lori and I have worked on this project now for what, 2 years, 3 years? 3 years. So finally, I think we're sort of at the 10-yard line, about to push it over the goal line. So we'll talk about that project here in just a second. And Lori, feel free to jump in when we get there. Lakeside Park, another development in the same area near Winton Woods. Another project that I think is going to be a home run for this community. So let's just jump in. Pingree Park, again, named after a park in Colorado that we just learned. This project is going to have what we just talked about, and we really pushed this. We want this to be an empty nester community. We want it to be an opportunity for people to stay here, downsize into a product that's no maintenance, high amenity, and close to Winton Woods Park. It's going to have walking trails that connect to the park. You're going to have no maintenance lifestyle in the Lane Dominions. You're going to have cottage style homes, detached homes there that could be 1 story, it could be 1.5 story. These are going to be built in a way that there's no vinyl siding. Not that I have anything against vinyl siding. I just know that if you encourage and you require higher end materials from the beginning, those neighborhoods usually last and hold their value longer. That's what we're doing here. There's no vinyl siding. It's all hardy plank siding and natural stone material, brick and stone. There is a combination of 67 of those detached cottages and 78 of the Lane Dominion products. You can see here in the layout, there's a nice lake in the middle. Winton Woods Park is just there to the north, across that Lake Ridge Road there. Just on the other side, it's going to have a trail that connects up there through. This is, you can see here, this is the property, this is the park. It's going to connect to the park property here and traverse over Lake Ridge Drive into the park. They expect the home sales in this neighborhood with these particular Lane Dominions probably in the mid-3s, is my guess. Maybe the low 4s. And those cottage styles are going to be in the high 4s to probably up to the mid-5s and maybe even the low 6s, depending on the amenities that people put in. So again, you can see the location there. It's ideal. Where else are you going to find an empty nest product with that offering next to a 3,000-acre Bay nature preserve? It's almost impossible. So especially within the 275 loop, they feel like this is going to build out in 2 to 3 years. This product is being built by Dries. Dries is the builder on this product. Dutch Bros, we talked about that. Caitlin loves it. Does she 2 hours away love it? We don't know. So I think that's going to be a huge win for this community, and hopefully people from 2 hours away feel that way too. This is a rendering of it. There's no inside. It's all walk up and drive through.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's no inside. So they want you to get their coffee, but they don't want you to stay. So, but Caitlin attests to it, so we'll have to take her word to it until we try it. So, going back to this, be ready this fall. Hopefully, the next time we do this next year, we'll have them cater in some drinks, and we'll all talk about it and see if it's worth it. Lori, this has been sort of the bane of our existence for 3 years. I think we're going to need therapy when this is done. But this was a site that the school district, obviously the former Whitaker Elementary School site, that they wanted to develop. And I think for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, they wanted to give the property back to a type of development that could be an amenity and something that could benefit the community. A lot of people think that, well, maybe we should have just put a playground there and a soccer field. No, we have enough of those spaces. We needed to create this space to allow the school district to, one, financially benefit from it, right? And then also tie in and give us another housing choice that doesn't exist in this community. Now, it took us a few iterations to get to where we are today, some of which that Lori and I may or may not have agreed on over the years. But I think the result is, you've heard the adage, no one likes to see how the sausage is made, but it tastes good when it's done. That was a similar process. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is no different. And what we settled on is this: 12 units, 5 condos in each building, being built by trees in a very modern aesthetic, something that doesn't exist in this community that individuals now want, adjacent to our 42-acre nature preserve that we just finished 2 years ago. So you have a product that doesn't exist anywhere in the region. Where can you buy a modern condo next to a 42-acre nature preserve within the 275 loop, 10 minutes from downtown Cincinnati? This is going to sell out quickly. And it's so high on Drees' list that they call me every single week and say, when are we starting? When can we start? When are we going? So Lori and I are pushing our attorneys, just get the paperwork done so we can turn them loose. This is gonna fundamentally change, this small project on 6.5 acres is gonna fundamentally change the perception of Finneytown. Lakeside Park. So this is an offering, so the same developer, so the Whitaker property, that developer is a gentleman who owns and operates a company called John Candle Homes. It's a custom home builder. He's getting into the development side of things beyond just building custom homes. He won Homerama 3 years in a row. He usually builds $3, $4, $5 million houses. I mean, houses with bowling alleys in them. That level of house. He's now getting into the development game, and so we brought him in, and Dave's here from the Corning Chamber, and he experienced all morning kind of what we do with people when we bring them in here. Everyone who works here is a walking commercial for this community. Rick wasn't sold on this place until he met with us. After that meeting, he went out and recruited these billion-dollar home builders in this community and said, I don't know how I missed this place, but you have to go check out Springfield Township and what they have going on there. He now knows what all of you know, and we know here that work here, that this is a special place, and that now he's recruited to build some of his Homerama homes here at the end of the beach, but in this development, he's recruited Ryan Homes to build some detached single-family product as well as some attached product too. This also will have walking trails that connect to Winton Woods. Very similar type of community that you've seen with the Drees product, the Pengreen Park. This one, on the other hand, has much more green space. Half this site is being retained as green space. So we'll get into what that looks like. 123 detached homes you see here, various options. You can go from the full sort of, 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, 2-story to the cottage style there as well. And then they have land-building product too. We have 123 of those and 61 of the townhomes in this development. So that site, Winton Woods is just to the north. This is an existing section of a neighborhood called Meadows of Wright Farm. This is sort of the intersection here of Lake Ridge and Lee Crest. If that kind of orients you at all. It's actually just south of Rob's neighborhood. So with this site, again, with the amenities it has, I think it's unique for this region, especially in this part of Hamilton County, and I think it's going to be very successful. All right, let's jump in. Municipal hospitality, what the hell does that mean? That means we're trying to turn everyday interactions we have here in the township into moments that matter for you businesses and residents that live here. We want to make you feel a certain way when you interact with us. Not just that you got the bare minimum, you got the service. We want you to feel like you're valued, seen, and heard here. How do we do that? We ask ourselves every day, why does it matter to the people that live here and operate businesses here? Why is it different? Because we feel like just giving you the service isn't enough. I say to staff all the time, and even externally, and Dave reached out because he's seen a video we did. And a lot of people disagree with when I say this just because they don't understand the context in which I'm saying it. People pay taxes voluntarily. All of you are thinking, why have I been paying it for so long? What I mean by that is, you chose to live here or you chose to move your business here voluntarily. No one made you do that, right? Why did you do that? I want our service, I want our hospitality to be the reason you chose to be here and the reason you continue to choose to stay here. That's what I mean by that. I don't mean that it's voluntary for you to pay taxes. I don't want you to go to jail. The IRS would come to you. But I truly believe that. It is voluntary. And, we also look at it and say that people don't move here necessarily because we have great technical services either. They move here because of the way the place feels. When we just my wife and I bought a house a few years ago, we moved. For me, the purchase was a financial decision. For her, I'm going to ask the realtor, what is it? What is the difference in home buying between the husband and the wife?
Emotional.
It's emotional. It's an emotional decision when you choose to live somewhere. How we make people feel is that. When I left that showing, when I bought my house 6 years ago, we got in the car and my wife said, I don't care what you do. This is the house I want. Buy it. I don't care what it takes. That's not a financial decision. But that's what she said. That's what we want our service to make you guys feel like, that it's an emotional decision to be here. And that's why hospitality is different than service. These are just some taglines we come up with. It's more than just being efficient. We want to be empathetic to everyone's situation. We want to meet them where they are. We know that, look, in police and fire especially, we know that 80% of the people that live here will never interact with us. How many times, if you don't live here, how many times have you interacted with the government where you live? Probably not often, maybe ever. Especially if it's police or fire, which is generally where you're going to interact, it could potentially be the worst day of your life. Our police and fire are busy too. Our police department responds to 27,000 calls for service a year. Our fire department is the third busiest fire department in the county. They're running from call to call to call a day. But what their mission, their goal is to make that interaction they have with you feel like that was the most important thing they did that day. Because to you it was. So how it felt to them is irrelevant. It's how it feels to the person that's receiving that service is the important thing. And that's what we preach every day, and that's why hospitality, not just service. It's helping people, guide them through what we do here too. Look, if I didn't do government, I wouldn't understand what we do here, this bureaucracy. So it isn't just giving people information, it's guiding them through what it means for them. And we also know, and hopefully you realize this, as you drive down Winton Road and you notice the differences that we've sort of obtained in the look of the community over the last 6, 7, 8 years and some of the initiatives we put in place. Hospitality is also what isn't said. It's what does the place say to you by how it makes you feel, what it looks like. That's important to us too. And so our Public Works Department is the all-star of this organization. What they do day in and day out with 15 people for 18 square miles, 37,000 residents, 400 streets is nothing short of miraculous that this place looks like it does. You do realize they pick up litter every single day. And as I explained to Dave earlier today, and I use this analogy, we don't do what the governor of California does and just clean up San Francisco and the Chinese delegate comes. It is every day. And why? Because I don't know when you're coming to look at a potential business to buy. I don't know when someone's coming to look at a new house in one of these subdivisions. I have no idea. It has to look that way every day. And that's what we do. On holidays, on weekends, every day we have people scheduled to do that. Because it's that important. The unspoken is probably more important than what we say. Because the community, the way it looks, is going to create that feeling before you even interact with us. So that's why it's important. We also tell our staff, it isn't just checking the box and doing the task. It's how are you interacting with that person? What's your tone with them? When they come in, do you stand up and shake their hand? Do you look them in the eye? Do you call them by their name if you know them? That's important. It makes people feel seen, valued, and heard. That makes a difference in that interaction. Even if they're upset or frustrated, by those very simple things, you can change the direction of that conversation. And so our staff is beginning to realize that, and I think hopefully residents and business owners are too. We also say that the difference between service and hospitality is service is reactive. You ask for something, we provide it. Hospitality is proactive. We provide it before you even ask for it or even know to ask for it. That's the goal. That's the metric by which we determine whether we're providing good service or not. Are we being proactive? It's not just enforcing rules. We look at it as policy, it's people over policy. We can enforce policies, but if we do it in a people-centric way, you're still going to get the policy enforced, but it's going to be done in a way that makes that person feel good about it when they left you, right? Did my government do something for me, or did they do something to me? We want to make sure that you feel like they did something for you. And that's why we're people first over policy. We want to make sure that we connect with all of you, and we do that through this very personal way of implementing our service. And so that's why we say it's always, we want people to leave with us, not that they're just satisfied with we got the bare minimum of the service, but that they feel that they connected with us as their government. So with that, I'll leave you with this, and this is what we say a lot. It's not just how you serve it, it's actually more important how it's delivered. It's not what we're even doing here, it's how we do it is the important part. So I got just a few more minutes. That concludes what I have. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with you guys? Hopefully, have you experienced that interacting with us? And if you haven't, I want to know. We put systems and processes around these things. These aren't things that we put on a piece of paper or on the wall. These are things we live every day. We have meetings about it. We train on them. We've developed an entire internal training program centered around municipal hospitality that our staff goes through. This isn't lip service. We actually do this on a daily basis. We create cards that Caitlin created for us that allow us to provide these when we provide service so we can get feedback. Not only do we want the compliments, those are great, right? But we want the feedback that if we did something that wasn't living up to our standards, we want to know so we can fix it. It's something she calls, and I didn't know what this was before she said it, a net promoter score. You guys probably know what that is, I don't know. I guess it's like a review on Yelp for us. But we want to know. I just don't want to know the good things. I want to know what we didn't do well so I can fix it. Okay, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
So, in the spirit of getting that feedback, because part of my job, I'm Caitlin, I'm the community engagement coordinator. Part of my job is making sure that our communication is two-way. I want you to know what's happening in the township, but I also want you to be able to tell us things that we can respond to and anticipate in the future. So this is the same QR code that's on all the little cards that we are giving residents. If you live in the township and you've gotten any brush or limbs removed from your property, you've gotten one of those little cards. This is the same QR code. It lives out here in the Alan Paul Room lobby. And as you leave, I would love if you would give us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing and how we can better serve you. Normally, we would go around the room and all give an update on what's happening in our business. This is a much more well-attended meeting than our normal ones, so I'm just going to dismiss everybody and you can hobnob and network and talk amongst yourselves as long as you want. All right, thank you so much for coming.